Welcome to the Safe Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Eric.
I'm Dominic.
We are currently on episode 94, and we have a very special guest today. We have Tyler Lowy, who makes manually machined putters in New Jersey. Make sure to give him a follow on Instagram. His handle is at TLOW_CTRL. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
That's a tongue twister.
A little bit.
Manually.
I kind of wanted to go with the bio that you had in your Instagram because I was like, well, so I kind of reworded a little bit.
But, you've struggled with way easier things, and somehow you knocked down on work.
Yeah, I was impressed. That's the hardest part for me in this podcast is the intro. If I can do that, then I'm happy.
That's all you have to do.
That's it.
I think you did a great job.
I appreciate it. Well, like I said, we're kind of on a time frame here today, but we really want to kind of get to know you a little bit. We want to talk about how you kind of got into the game of golf and ultimately, the reason of why you started making putters.
Yeah, so I mean, played a little bit when I was younger. Just did the go out with some buddies after school and stuff, and then was playing a lot with my father-in-law in my 20s. And then kind of the past couple of years, been getting a little bit more and more into it, more serious as I got older too. Some other hobbies fell by the wayside. So got serious about golf. And then I've always been kind of a tinkerer of things. I've been in machine shop, been in fabrication and machining and stuff for a long time. So when I wanted a nice milled putter, I was struggling to find a lefty for a reasonable price and figure why not just try and make one, and then kind of just spawned from there. It's been growing ever since.
I have noticed that you do post a lot of lefty putters, and that was going to be one of my questions if you are a lefty, because that is, we talked about this with someone else. I think it might have been last week, but not only like it's hard for lefties, but also female lefties especially.
That was last week.
Yeah, there's nothing available.
Well, we know a lefty.
We do know a lefty. Yeah. Out on the East Coast as well.
I actually play right-handed. I hit my full swing's right-handed. I putt left-handed.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know why. Not sure why. Horrible putt. Not a horrible putter right-handed, but definitely not great. No confidence.
Did you ever play like hockey growing up?
Yeah. Played hockey left-handed my whole life.
Okay. So I'm not much of a hockey player myself, but I play all my sports. I'm always right-handed predominantly. And then in hockey, when I would play, it would always be lefty, which is weird because I've never been a lefty in anything in my life. So that might be
try putting left-handed. Yeah,
I should, because I'm not a very good putter. I'm good for a couple 3 putts around. So that's maybe a good idea.
A couple 2 trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when did you start making putters?
February of 22.
So pretty precise with the date. So that was that's 22. You said February 22?
Yeah, February of 2022.
Honestly, I feel like I followed you pretty early on. Because I remember showing Derek, I was like, dude, look at these. Because before we got on, I was like, I think the beauty with your putters is there's no thrills attached, which I don't mean as an insult. I mean as they're simple, they're modern, and they almost have like a rustic feel to them, where I feel like a lot of companies are overdoing it with all these kind of wild shapes and features where it's just like simple or wild and you still suck at putting. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and that's
I kind of just like how simple they are.
Yeah.
You absolutely nailed it too. It's exactly what I'm going for. I try and keep the logo simple. I keep the stamping simple. Everything I try and keep. I like to let the shape speak for itself and the finish work kind of speak for itself, and that's it. Yeah, no thrill, no bells and whistles.
Well, they look really nice. And you kind of gave us a little quick a tutorial or a tour, I should say. Yeah, tour of your shop. And it looked like you obviously had some experience in in a different industry. Is that something that like you went and saved up for and decided that you're like, all right, I want to make my own putter, but I have to purchase, X, Y, and Z to make this all happen? How did that kind of come into play?
Yeah, not really. I've been welding since I was 13. I've been machining since or like in a machine shop since I was 17. And then I left the shop and got into the Ironworkers Union when I was 27. And ever since I got my first house, I'd been like kind of building up this shop over the years. So this is just kind of a culmination of 10 or 11 years of just acquiring machines and tools and stuff like that. So I kind of had all the pieces of the puzzle here, and then just one day just said, let me try and make one, see what happens.
So how
they've come a long way. They've come along. 33.
Okay.
Because we were like, I wonder how old he is, because like you seem younger than a lot of the other guys making putters.
Oh, thank you.
So maybe that's why they're more modern.
Because I'm handsome or something, or what?
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's the mustache and the beard combo
and the flow. You got a nice flow cooking. Yeah,
it's the hockey.
Yeah.
I love it.
You got a ways to go, but
yeah, you got a couple years to go.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
That's cool.
So in your Instagram, you talk about being like a manual machinist. Can you kind of just walk us through like the process of like what the difference is between like maybe a CNC milled or
CNC, yeah. So both processes start with just a raw piece of material, raw blank, like I showed you, and then from there, on a CNC job, you would kind of just write up the program in a CAD program or something like that. I never programmed any CNC stuff really, so don't know too much about that. But basically, you draw up the program in CAD and write some code for it for the machine. Load up all the tools, load up the blank in the CNC machine, and kind of press run. And after a couple trial and error pieces, I think you kind of come out with a nice piece, and you can kind of just run that program after that on demand. My process is a little different. Starts out with the same blank. Then I throw it in the Bridgeport. I manually square it all off and rough out like a smaller rough shape. I lay everything out by hand, just with like this hand-drawn print that I got here, based off the first one that I ever did. And so then I put some blue dye on these parts. I kind of just lay it all out with like combination of some combination squares, my scribe, a couple different other layout tools here, all right here. Just kind of lay everything out by hand, and then it's really cool because I can kind of like tweak all these little dimensions for each person and each individual, whatever head I'm doing. If I want one to be a little thinner top to bottom than the other, or just little tweaks that you don't really think about that you'd have to go into a CNC program and kind of like change some stuff in the programming to change each one. I can kind of change them all as I see fit. So then after it's laid out, it goes back into the Bridgeport, and then it's just a series of different setups and fixtures to get the final shape. Kind of looking something like this is a messed up one, but it'll kind of start out as that block I showed you. Let me grab a block.
So this is a tutorial.
This is a tutorial.
This is a
tutorial.
Love it. Oh yeah.
Starts out as that. Then it's squared. It's all squared up and laid out and kind of roughed out into this. And then again, kind of roughed out into something that looks like this with the face still on there, like where I grab it in the machine would be this big piece.
Yep.
And then eventually cut that off. Also on the Bridgeport, tilt the head over to the degrees I need and get it all dialed in like that. Another setup and fixture. Get the face off, and then from there, it's all just ground by hand on a belt sander, a couple different belt sanders that I got, and then polished by hand and turn the necks on the lathe that I showed you. So that's a whole different setup and process. That starts out as like it looks like this. The straight up bar stock. And then I don't really have any good examples of that, but turned down into something like this with all these little tapers and stuff. and then welded onto the head, bent by hand out here. Got a couple fixtures for that too. Bend it all to somebody's specs, and
wow,
glue it up to a shaft and throw a grip on it.
So from start to finish, how long is your process? On average.
So with the manual machining, there's a ton of all the time of it is in setup pretty much. So it's like every different one of those steps I just showed you is all different tooling in the machine and different vices. And I use for doing this shape with the radius that I've been doing. That's a whole nother turntable setup that I do on there. So it all kind of depends on the batch of putters that I'm doing, how many are like that, how many are like this, how many are a couple different models that I have. And so the more I can kind of batch stuff together, the shorter the time takes. Right now it's around like anywhere from usually around like 12 hours kind of start to finish.
Awesome.
I got it down there. No, and like I said, it's kind of like now that I'm more confident in the process than I was before. And everything is just like so much more streamlined than when I was first starting out, kind of like guessing, checking, going slow. I'm just taking bigger cuts on stuff now and being a little bit more confident in the process.
It's funny because that's exactly kind of like what this is. The first couple of these that I edited, because I do all the editing, I'm like exporting it, putting it into a thing to make it a MP4 file, and then now it's literally like 30 minutes and it's all uploaded and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, you just get more confident in your skills, and the process just gets more and more streamlined every time, and you figure out what you need and what you don't need. And same thing, same exact thing.
It sounds like, I don't want to say like trial and error when you first started, but was a lot of this like, were you watching like YouTube videos or anything just like kind of get an idea of how they were built?
Yeah, so there's really not too many other people I know of off the top of my head that are doing it like this. Basically everybody that you see in this like niche market of custom putters is all CNC stuff. I know if you ever heard of Mancrafted, Lamont Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's out in our Arizona area, maybe. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I've heard of him.
He still from time to time manually machines some putters from what I understand. I think he has like a CNC line as well, but I think he still does like some manual stuff. Other than that, I know Legend Golf used to do a lot of manual stuff. Now all his stuff is CNC. So there's not really a ton of people that do it. And if you try and look up a YouTube video on it, like no shot. There's a couple YouTube videos of like some CNC putters, and I actually like kind of picked up a couple little like positioning things from that and like how they got certain cuts done. But really it was just kind of like using my knowledge from the shop and using my knowledge from just like past experience. And like I said, going slow in the beginning and trying not to break any tools or mess any pieces up, because it sucks when you have machined something for 6 or 7 hours and then like the last operation you mess it up and it's trash. So try not to do that. So yeah, just a lot of going slow and relying on trusting myself in the process.
I know you and I kind of briefly kind of spoke about it. Your pricing's really good, in my opinion. You know, for all the work you do, thanks. You told me it starts at like $550 and then it's $100 to get on the waiting list, correct?
Yep.
That's really not bad.
Fair, yeah.
Oh god.
So we ran into this when we played a nicer golf course this year. We were under the impression that the money you put down goes towards.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't for us. So that $100 you put down, does that go towards the $550? See, why can't golf courses be like him?
Yeah, I've never really seen that before. This is the first time we played Half Moon Bay.
I've never heard that before either, and I would definitely feel pretty hoodwinked about that.
I felt hoed.
Yeah,
I was like, this sucks.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it was what, $30?
Yeah, something like
$30 a person to hold the tee time.
Yeah, it was wild. I've never seen that before. I mean, it's a nice course, but still, it's weird. I was surprised.
Yeah, so I was under the impression that would be $30 off. And they were like, nope, $300. And I was like, this is great, I guess.
So the $100 is applied to, which makes sense. That's a good question.
No, it's really affordable when you consider he's hand making it, he's hand designing. You said it's a pretty extensive phone call since we're not locals. So like you're taking your time with everybody.
Yeah.
And for that price, it's definitely worth it. It's more of a personal experience.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think my advantage there over the market is that this whole thing kind of just started out as like, first it started out as like, hey, I want to putter for myself. Then it kind of grew into like, oh, people are actually like kind of interested. Maybe I can just make a little like extra money for golf. And it's kind of like blossomed into a little bit more than that, but I still have a full-time job as an iron worker. And it kind of affords me the opportunity to like price it so that people can actually like get their hands on it, and it's not $2,000 where like nobody can buy it or nobody can afford it. I mean, I don't know what the future holds as far as that's concerned, but for right now, especially just trying to develop the craft and get my name out there and stuff, I appreciate that you think it's fair.
Hopefully we can help with that. That was one of my questions is,
I know I stole it because I was reading and I was like, I want to ask.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I meant for the future, like for the future, like you were talking about for what the future holds. That was gonna be my follow-up question. Because we've had a couple guests on that have kind of done something similar, different market, but similar, where it was like we got to the point where like I could do this full time, but I'm a one man, shop, and
Right.
I kind of have a particular way, so it's like you don't really have employees, but it's like I'm flooded with messages and orders, but at the same time I can only do so much. Is that something that you maybe see down the road that could be like a future career as a full-time type of gig?
Well,
or do you even want that to be, I guess,
So the idea for the future, I don't really want to elaborate on it too much because it's still kind of it's still kind of a gray area. But the process for how I make them here, being all manually machined, isn't the end game isn't how many putters can I make in a week, in a month, in a year. It's how good of a piece of art, how nice of a piece of art can I make and cater to like that clientele more so. I don't know if that ever could be like a full-time thing. Like I just couldn't sustain making 50 putters a month. It's just too much. It would just be too much time, and it's just not feasible on a manual machine like that. It's just too much to put out the quality that I would want to see out there. I'm sure I could churn out like some kind of like some rendition of a putter, but it wouldn't be like you said. I would take my time with everybody. I try to take my time with everybody that buys a putter, and that would be lost if I tried to just pump out as many as I could. So,
you do like little mini putter keychains. That'd be dope.
There you go.
I'd buy one.
That would be cool. It's that all that stuff like ball markers and stuff. I wish I had more time to like sit down in my shop and make those kinds of things too. Because just from a fun perspective, like an enjoyment perspective, they're so much fun to make and they're so cool to use and like pull out and show people. But like yeah, between the full-time job, the wait list that I have now, and still trying to raise a family and be a husband and a father, it's like and play a little golf whenever I can. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. And
how long is the current wait list?
Right now I'm telling people winter of 2023 for a part-time.
Good job.
I was gonna say that's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm trying to be as accurate as I can with the times. It's tough. I know Jamie Coggins had similar. He's figuring out the system too. His interview was great with you guys. I actually, when we were talking about the future, something he said stuck with me where he said he wishes he would have taken the jump on him. He wishes he would have taken the leap of faith on himself sooner. I thought that was pretty.
Jamie was the man.
That resonated for sure, but yeah, he's awesome, and his products are great, and
I was finally able to get one of the markers.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did you?
I was
got
telling him, I'm like, I've been trying to get one for a long time. I finally got one. I got the Royal Ghost one.
Oh, cool.
So I'm pumped to have it. If I never use it, that's fine. It's a nice little piece in the collection, though. But happy to have it.
Yeah.
It looked like you had a couple putters in your hand. Maybe I'm wrong when you first popped in. So I guess my question would be, out of all the putters you've made,
I asked him to have some handy so he could show us. Yeah,
you're so good.
I like to look at putters.
Yeah, I mean, we got a video. We might as well see them, right?
Well, even if there wasn't a video, I like to look at them. I think they're pretty.
Me too. Yeah. I agree. It is kind of one of those things you just like scrolling, like, dude, that is like impressive.
And it's like oddly satisfying. And then you just killed 4 hours of your day.
Just putter porn. That's what they call it on Instagram. So what has been like your favorite putter that you've made?
My favorite?
Don't cop out and say the next one.
Yeah. Don't say the next one.
No. I would say the last, there's a it's like a, let me see if I can find this number real quick. Hopefully you're good in the post-production. You can edit this part out.
There is no post-production.
No, we're keeping it.
We're
all good.
That is the beauty of this organic. It is very raw. No, video editing honestly stresses me out. I've tried it a couple times and I have never left more confused and stressed out in my life.
I think it's number 40 that I made recently. All black head, kind of just a classic. What's up?
We'll pick up our phone.
Yeah, we're listening. We all picked up our phone.
We got
the last post. It's got 2 alignment lines with a dot on the top line for the alignment aid.
Oh, that's
that
pretty.
one was probably like to date, fit and finish wise. I think that came out like probably the best so far.
Ooh, yeah.
Everything came out right. And then honorable mention would go to the first ones of these that I made, the first batch of this head. I actually made a matching set for somebody. We're probably gonna auction one off soon, as a matter of fact. But they came out like within 0.4 grams of each other, head weight. Everything was like exactly the same on it, and I thought that was pretty impressive to do on a manual machine to get them so close and to get them so right. And dude who's got them loves them, so
that's got to be probably one of the it's got to be probably one of the coolest parts of like the whole process of making the putters. I mean, obviously it's nice to like make money and you're doing it. It's like, but you're
giving somebody a piece of art that they're going to beat up and potentially throw in a pond.
Yeah,
hopefully they don't, but yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, but yeah, when you get texts like a couple weeks after you give it to a putter to somebody and they're like, dude, just have my lowest putts round ever, like 24 putts or something. You're like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So to see people appreciate the art of them and then also have them function well for people, it's just like a double whammy. It's great. And then to be out like playing with people that have them too, and seeing a group of when your foursome has like 3 putters out of the 4 guys are made by you. Cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then one of the guys gets pissed and it's in a pond.
Yeah, then it's gone. You always gotta have a backup putter.
I love the neck on number 40, just the simple. But then I love the knurling that attaches to the shaft.
Yeah,
that little touch I think is probably the coolest part of the putter.
Yeah, that's even come a long way. I don't know. I think the video wouldn't do it justice, but like on number 1 serial number.
Trust me, I'm digging for it.
Yeah, we're certain.
This old dog.
Found it.
Yeah. So like the knurling on that compared to the knurling now.
It's still nice, but yeah, much better.
Oh my God, so much sharper, so much cleaner. So
do you like to name
those little details?
Yeah, for sure. Do you like to name your putters, or you just like to? Is it just basically by number?
Yeah, so far I just categorize them all and just a serial number.
Okay.
Oh, number 3 is pretty.
People have thrown around some names on them and stuff like that, but I think you can call it whatever you want to call it. They're all like just the process kind of lends itself to them all being so individual that I have some like basic shapes to work around, but then each one is kind of just different. It's got its own little unique.
Now you're on Instagram. Well, I'm sorry, the phone kind of cut out. Go ahead.
We should do a save par line of putters.
A save par line of putters?
Yeah.
We need to do a line of clothes merch before I think we do putters.
I mean, I've been wearing testing a polo.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, if you want to do the putters, let me know. Hand milled line of putters is pretty.
Line of 2 because that's all we can afford.
Yeah, we'll do a
line of 2.
I'm sure we can figure something out.
Your Instagram said we were just obviously talking about it. We kind of plugged it in the intro. And I am kind of curious because me and Dom were talking about this.
You're gonna ask if it's DM only?
Yeah, I was just that, and not only that, like how are most of your sales? Are they all through Instagram? Is that kind of how you started selling putters?
Yeah. So it's either like word of mouth or Instagram. Don't have a website currently. Just all through DM.
Why is he sending me reels?
Are you gonna plan on end up getting starting a website, you think, or are you just gonna kind of continue? I mean, if it's working, why you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Change it?
Yeah, I mean, I've kicked the idea around for sure. I think that would be like the next step if I wanted to take it to the next point, like we were talking about. But for now, it's kind of just like working. It is what it is.
I'd imagine it's a lot of work. I mean, not only the whole the putter process in general, like going back and forth with the customer, actually making it, but then the Instagram or the social media side is a whole nother animal. I mean, and then putting a website together.
Well, if you get a customer like me, it's going to take forever.
What's that?
If you get a customer like me, it's going to take forever.
Oh, as far as like creating a putter?
Because I'm like,
I've had plenty of people that are like, there's 2 different kinds of people really. It's like people that are just like, hey, love what you're doing. Here's the money for it. Like, just do whatever you want. Like, I like this, and this, and just do whatever you want. And then there's the other customer that's like, we're messaging like every day throughout it. I'm sending like pictures and videos, and they're sending me like other putter pictures. Like, hey, what do you think about this little curve in the toe here and this? And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. So I don't hate that at all. I mean, I like it.
I shouldn't say we. I did custom shoes for our last tournament, and I was doing it with Luke from Leaderboard Customs. So since he's a friend of ours, and wanted to show what he can do, basically, it got so bad that at one point I downloaded a picture of the shoes that I was having him customized, and I drew on the shoes, and I labeled it, and I sent him the picture, and literally nothing from that picture we used.
It turned out really nice though. And actually, talking about earlier how I was mentioning, so he's one of them, the main one, but like with him, we kind of helped him jumpstart his, I don't want to say we. I don't want to say
we. I didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, it was mainly on my end, but I try to group it as a team effort. But like when he first started, like he had like 100 followers, and like he's been nothing but a great friend, follower. But we kind of helped him grow like significantly on Instagram, and like that's kind of where that whole, like, that's why I love about Safe Park Golf, is that's our kind of our purpose or our motto. But like he was so thankful, and it's like, dude, honestly, like if I had like cloned myself, then I could do this like full time. It's just like there's so many DMs and messages and emails, and so he does. And Dom, like he said he
totally did not respond to an email.
He knocked it out of the park with the custom golf shoes.
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal. It's just, I remember I took the time, I sat down and I drew all over them with my tablet. I was like, this is what I'm thinking. And he looked at it and went, no. Set up a phone call, and then we went with what he did, and they look, again, they're simple, but there's so much detail and time and stuff I didn't even think about doing. It's like, I'm a big like 49er guy, so obviously we're doing it in the Bay, so the Niners always do hashtag FTTB, which is faithful to the Bay. So we took the quarter panels of these shoes and just splattered FTTB all over the shoes.
Did you have him posted? Did you want him to post it? Because I don't.
He never posted them.
Okay, I was wondering.
That he did. Bastard.
Yeah. Are you big into like sneakers, golf sneakers?
Not particularly. Okay. But I wear a pair of all white Gallivanters, G4 Gallivanters. Ooh. Been wearing them for just keep it clean, keep it classy. You know what I mean? Easy.
I mean, let me tell you, you might be into mine.
Yeah, they're pretty.
These ones are,
but they're awesome.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, if you he's on Instagram. So it's Leaderboard Customs. Luke's awesome, but and that's again kind of love the whole like.
Well, mine don't match either. Each shoe's different.
Like yeah, the what those.
Yeah, we did the what the theme. Yeah. So like one shoe, like it's the same shoe, but like the pairs don't match.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what else. We kind of some of the questions that I've already was going to ask you kind of had mentioned, especially like about like the like accessories, doing like divot tools or things like that. You kind of said that you'd like to do that. I know, he talked about doing little keychains. That would be really cool. Have you thought about?
I want a little putter keychain now. I talked myself into one.
Well, what do you do with like the ones that you said like you do like 6 hours and then like something happens? You just like, do you end up like saying, you know what, like
something like a discount?
Yeah, do a discount. Like, hey, I'm gonna make, you know what I mean? Like, at least I can do something with it.
Knock on wood, it hasn't really happened all that much because, like I said, kind of just take my time and stuff like that. My putter that I'm gaming right now, so it's just a little BGT red fire. So this putter, hold that thought for 1 second. Just started out as a lefty for this girl.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you'll be able to tell from this, but like if you look at like this top line here,
yep,
this measurement, it's like a 1/4 inch difference. So I cut that off of this one by accident in the milling process. Just mowed it straight off. Didn't realize it till like, I don't know, probably an hour later I was cutting the radius on it. And yeah, that was like, it's just like a blow. Especially you don't catch it right away. You're just like, oh, dude, come on.
Right. You're like, well, at least it's lefty and I can use it, I guess, right?
It was a lefty. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me just like see it through. I like wound up finishing it and I've been playing it. I've been playing it ever since and absolutely love it. Like just kind of readjusted some weight, just readjusted some different specs to compensate for that and got it up to 350 grams and got the face balance kind of where I like it. And
that looks clean.
Thanks, man. Yeah, like I don't know if you can catch this. I don't know if the knurling's clean in there. Is that coming through at all?
God, look at that putter porn.
Yeah, that is nice. There you go.
We were talking about butt plugs last week. Putter porn this week.
Okay. Look, what is the putter cover? Because that was going to lead to my next question.
Does it say honestly shrinking the game?
Honestly shrinking the
game. Shout out cousin club. Shout out early birdie. I don't know if you're familiar with either of those guys in the niche golf community. Is that coming up the right way?
Honestly shrinking the game. That's sweet. And what can you show the other part of it again? Just the name of it.
So at Early Birdie Customs and at Cousin Clubs on Instagram. Both those guys are the homies. They're awesome. They've been supporting me for basically the whole journey so far, and they're always reaching out and just checking in and saying what's up, and we're always talking on Instagram. And they made a run of putter head covers. Had to cop one, had to game that.
That's sweet.
It's funny.
Do you ever plan on trying to do your own, like collabing with them to do making for your own putter?
That was my question.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of the putter guys have their own head covers. Like Ollie with Sync's a good example. All of his are like quilted and say Sync on them.
No, absolutely. That's just like a nice touch too, just to like kind of make the whole package complete. just been kind of trying to figure out a source for them because obviously I don't even have enough time to make the putters that I want to make. To have to try and make head covers myself would just be a whole nother can of worms that I'm sure I would probably get like addicted to, and just because that's how it is. But
didn't Jamie say his wife made theirs?
Yeah, I think Jamie.
Dude,
yeah,
that's sick. That's so cool.
Crazy.
Hear that, Emily? You better start making some head covers out there.
Oh no, we're starting to fight.
Yeah, there we go. Or a new side hustle, like
right. Yeah,
or a divorce.
Yeah, hopefully not.
New family.
So these ones are made by the ones that these guys had made were made by EP head covers.
Okay.
Little free plug for EP. Super high quality, made in America. I actually got a price from them. It was like pretty palatable for order of 10 or 20 head covers. So, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would just be like a little extra cost for the end consumer on my end, but I think it would be worth it. It'd be a nice touch and, like I said, kind of complete the whole package. And I'm sure if I designed something too, it'd be nice and simple and clean and, not too flashy. So definitely that. Huh?
I was just gonna say before we do want to. We'll wrap it up here quickly.
We gotta do the rapid.
Yeah, we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. We are gonna do those, but I just wanted to ask: is there anything that maybe you want to mention that we haven't covered?
Like the safe parlay putters.
Yeah.
Little sneak peek of a mallet shape coming soon. Working on that.
Okay.
Working on that. So I don't want to show too much. I gotta show too much.
That's fine.
No, that's good. Listen, I was like,
I've been talking about that for a little while, and my one buddy who I'm trying to make it for has been like, we've been talking about it for a while, so he's been like, "Come on, dude, you gotta do it." So we're starting that. So that's been an experience. It kind of reminds me of the first blade that I made, just like these little things that you see in your head. You see how it's going to work out in your head, and then it doesn't really work out that way in real life. And you're like, yeah, well, just got to pivot a little bit. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, no, some cool things on the future. I mentioned that auction that may be happening sooner than later. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Yeah, no, just chugging away out here. Every putter's getting better. Every putter's getting better and better, and cooler and cooler.
Let us know on the auction. Love to help you out with that. So we can try to help push that for you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and I think 100% of that money is going to go to a charity too. So
awesome. Well, we love that. So if we can be a part of that, by all means, yeah, we certainly help you out.
Awesome.
We're going to have to ask you some rapid fire questions, and I'll let Dom take the lead on these.
Oh, I'm going to ask my favorite one first.
Do it.
Do you know what my favorite one is?
This one?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a good one, but no. What's your favorite snack on the course?
Oh.
I really built it up.
Yes, it's a simple question, but it's a good question.
Good question.
Soft pretzel or the travel pack of Fig Newtons.
Oh, he's the second one to say Fig Newtons.
Dude, that's a good one. I like.
Who the first one was? I don't remember at this point
either, but it was a while ago. But
I was like, "Oh, Fig Newtons."
I think it's typically like some people will say like jerky or like. I mean, for me, like I'm a granola bar guy. We went to that random golf club out, and Dom hooked up a big pack of jerky nuggets.
So we went to a random golf club event.
Yep.
And I know Derek, right? Like I think I know Derek pretty well. I was like, "There's no way this man is eating." And if I know him, he's there before everybody else. And I was 2 for 2. So I went to Holiday, and I was like, "I'm gonna get us something to eat because he'll be crabby, and I won't eat, so I'll be crabby." So I got this big bag of like the teriyaki like nugget jerky.
Oh yeah.
And he damn near ate the whole bag.
It hit the spot.
That was $20.
Dude,
$20 well spent.
$14.
The jerky prices are insane.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
That's crazy. I'll take the lead on the next one here. How many rounds of golf do you play per week?
Per week? Right now, I'm kind of nursing a wrist injury. I would say when I can, one a week. Is like the average, yeah.
Yeah.
God, must be nice.
Normally that's kind of once or twice a week for me is typically average too. And I have this year, we were talking about this before we hopped on. We've done probably some of the coolest stuff that we have gotten to do this year as far as like the Save Par Golf podcast, like together, like playing tournaments and just really cool experiences. But like as golf as a whole, like
we haven't done anything.
We haven't. I normally said at least once a week, twice a week, and it has not been consistent. So it's been kind of a shit golf year as far as that.
Yeah. I had fun.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
I didn't hurt myself yet.
That's true.
Hey, we're good. The season's not over yet, so
that's right. Yeah, we still got some time.
The real field today was 106. It's over.
Where are you guys, by the way? I meant to
ask. Minneapolis.
Yeah, we're in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now.
106 real field in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
It was 99, and then with the humidity, it was like 106.
Yep. And then tomorrow it's going to be similar, maybe a little warmer, and then it'll shift. And then it's supposed to check.
We have technology.
It's supposed to kind of simmer off. So we're kind of getting.
So right now it is like 9:15 at night. It's still 91.
Yeah. It's it feels like 106.
Yeah, it currently feels like 106.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a high of 97. And Thursday is a little bit cooler at 88.
But I will say though, I would much rather have this weather though than freezing cold weather because you can at least still.
So we have right now the humidity is 64%.
I guess you play golf indoors, but it's just not the same as an outdoor.
No. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Dom, take the lead on the next one. Choose whatever one you like.
I'm so pissed off that it feels like 106, to be quite honest.
All right, I'll ask this one. You're packing for a golf trip, okay, whether it's with your wife or with your buddies, whoever it is.
Or it's a boy trip, leave the wife at home.
Yeah, either one.
That's what I would do.
Where are you heading?
Golf trip? Yep. I've really wanted to do like the Mid Pines loop down there, like the Pinehurst area. I think that would be nice. But if like money was not an option, New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand, that area.
I like that.
Did they play golf over there?
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
We're gonna find out. Bringing your clubs, hopefully.
Yeah, we got Big Tim holding it down in Australia.
That's right.
He sent me a voice message one day, and I was like, "Shit, I forgot he has an accent." It was like the boonies in Australia.
Yeah, no laying up did a tour off season over there. That just ever since then, it's just been like, man, I gotta get over there.
That'd be cool.
And not to mention beaches, the whole deal, like everything. So it's being all.
The main reason why I would love to go play out in like New Zealand or Australia is because I want to see a wallaby or a kangaroo.
Oh my God.
I think there is that option too. On some golf courses, they're just out there roaming around. So
yeah, I'm sure it's like a deer here, but for me, like I just think that's like the coolest thing ever. You know, that's would be one.
With our luck, we would hit into one and then they'd beat us up.
Yeah, get drop kicked by one.
Or like pick your ball up and put it in its pouch and just hop off.
Exactly.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, no, wait a minute.
That would make for a good Instagram reel. That might go viral.
Yeah, I'd be like, cool. If like here we have a lot of bears. If like you got to the green and the bears like playing with your ball.
Oh yeah,
you're like you can have it.
It's like that one that bear the other day. I think it was a while ago, but it literally gripped the guy's golf bag and took it into the woods. Have you seen that video?
You can keep it.
That's like it was like in a forest basically, but it was like severe down like hill slope. So like the guy had no chance of getting his bag back.
I mean, conveniently we were just shipping new bags.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be wild. But we got a couple more. Go ahead.
I'd be like Jordan. Guess who has the new Odin balls? Freaking bear. Bear the big blue house. Which ones have we asked? Because we're not doing these in order.
No, it's okay. You can either ask that one or that one.
Oh, I'm going to do the long one. So I also hate how you word it because it shouldn't be worse.
However you like it.
Your grammar sucks.
Well, you know what? That's okay.
See, David knows wrong. What's worse? Shaking a drive on the first tee, which I'm okay with. Blading your second shot after hitting a drive down the middle, or a 3-putt after you hit a good drive and a second shot.
I literally just had this conversation. I think the actual worst. Do I have to pick one of those? Okay.
I mean, if you have another option, be my guest.
I was gonna say the cold top off the tee box, just driver in hand, straight drove the ball like 6 inches in front of the tee into the ground, and it just goes like 10 yards in front of you. Like, man,
Okay,
have a breakfast ball.
Yeah, embarrassment level. Yes, I agree. But the nice thing with that though is if you shank it, odds are you're probably going to lose it. So at least if you do top it off, you do have your golf ball.
You got a 350-yard shot on your second shot. Yeah,
exactly.
I think for me, the more I've thought about it, hitting, you're close to the green, you come through, and then you just hosel rocket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
like dings in your hands.
The great drive to the middle of the fairway and then just straight blade one over the back of the green, or like lay the sod over one in the middle of the fairway. That's pretty demeaning too. That's pretty bad too.
It is.
Golf is just humbling like that though, you know. Everyone
that's right. I hate it. That's the problem we were just talking about before. It's like I haven't really played once, it's been once every other week. It's the consistency, right? Consistency to play golf and the consistency to actually like hit good shots. It's not very easy.
My favorite part is I'll put like one good hole together. I'm just like, this is easy.
It's easy sport.
I could do this every day. And then the next hole I like lose everything.
Oh man. Yeah.
Golf is the best teacher in like expectation management, and yeah. You learn so much about yourself in this game.
I'm sorry, I have low expectations.
For sure. 2 more questions for you. What's been like your favorite golf course that you've played?
Oh wow. That's a good question.
I think mine has to be Half Moon Bay.
Yeah, that one is. If you have 2, you can name 2 if you're
Twin Cities is cool though.
Yeah, TPC was sweet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like one-time courses that I've played, and then like courses that I wish I could play like every single day, like course that I love.
Oh, you can you can do that if you like. So
yeah, so like probably the nicest place that I've ever played at would be a course out here in South Jersey called Union League National.
What was it called?
Union League National.
Okay.
It's relatively fresh, actually. They just finished it up. It used to be called, I think it was called like Sand Barons or something like that before.
Okay.
And then the Union League bought it. The Union League is like a social club, I think, for around, I don't know if
is it a private golf course or is it public?
Yeah. It's like it's actually like pretty private. They have 3 other courses around. They have Union League Torresdale in Philly, right outside Philly, and Union League Liberty Hill. That's also over in Philly. I played Torresdale and I played National, and National is just like every tee box you pull up to, the views are just like take your breath away.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the greens are just like almost a little too much as far as like undulations and movement and stuff, but it's just you're just thinking the whole time around it. It's just so much fun, and the conditions were just unreal. It's just a great golf experience. The whole experience was just great. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple around here that just like near and dear to your heart, you know. There's a place called Green Tree that we play this tournament with a bunch of my buddies at every year. That's just an absolute dog track, but it's always a good time when you're out there playing with the boys. So shout out to Green Tree.
Sometimes those tracks like that are the best, right? That are not the best condition, but it's just
twilight round at the local dog track. So
for sure.
But yeah, been blessed this year too, and that's like another thing with the with the whole putter making thing. I've been like so blessed with some of the people that I got to meet throughout this process, and like some of the golf courses that I've played this past year from these people that I've met. It's just been like, I would have never guessed in a million years that I would have been playing at Union League or at Galloway or any of these places. French Creek, just all these places are just insane. So
the Instagram golf community is pretty wild, right? And it's
so crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, so crazy. Yeah, just awesome people and awesome golf. So,
well, we appreciate the time. We do want to ask one last question. I'll let Dom Dom asked this question.
This is the best question, other than the snack one, because I enjoy snacks.
Pop-Tart. Yeah, Pop-Tart. Big Newton. Good. Red Bull.
Pop-Tarts.
I haven't had a Pop-Tart grip. Those are good too.
I had a protein Pop-Tart.
Really?
Yeah.
Protein Pop-Tart?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to get you one.
Yeah.
Next time I'm at the neighbors, yeah. I'll get you some weed too.
I don't need any weed.
So if we're in your area, where are we gonna go eat?
Ooh.
We're there for a day.
One day, yeah.
Where are we going?
You're not vegetarian?
No.
Okay.
Plot twist, I'm vegan.
Everything's all liquid here. We just
I can pescatarian.
Yeah, in Minnesota, we just drink everything.
Yeah, beer and smoothies. That's it.
That. That'd be pretty cool. I'd live like that.
Easy. Here for one day, you got to go down to Long Beach Island. There's plenty of good golf down there, and then you head over to the island, and there's a restaurant called Howard's out there. Small, I don't know, probably 30 less than 30 tables in there, 20 tables. Been there forever, and they have like this surf and turf fillet and French fried lobster tail entree. That's just like it'll blow your mind. It's great. Lather that baby in some blue cheese crumbles and butter, and just go to town.
I love cheese.
The blue cheese is polarizing. I know.
I love cheese. Actually, before we got on, we were looking at a fondue place in Minneapolis, and I was just like, they're like, yeah, you get a salad. I was like, just give me the big thing of cheese.
Yeah.
And just let me go home.
Skip the salad, dude. We're not
salad.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah, that would be my choice, though. Howard's for sure. It's just the right amount of formal and casual. Got the beach vibe, and the food is just every time you go there, it's exactly the same quality. It's never wavered. So,
well, Tyler, it's been a pleasure, man. We really appreciate you taking the time and hopping on the podcast. And like I said, if there's anything we can do to help you out, by all means. And then obviously with that auction, just send us some details on that. We can help you out with that as well. So thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's been awesome. You have a good time, and we'd like to try to get our guests on for a second time down the road. So maybe we could try to reconnect in the winter or sometime early next year. So
for sure, absolutely.
Maybe we'll screw around and order number putter. Maybe putter 69.
I need putter 23, but I'm sure that's already been made. So maybe 00023 or something.
That one's been made. He does all of his 000.
Yeah, okay.
Dummy.
Wouldn't it maybe tuna? What's that?
230 seems a little bit.
223, I guess. Technically, we could do that.
What's another good number?
223. Yeah, maybe we can make that happen.
All right, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Thanks again, man. You take care.
Absolutely.
All right, later.